Albert Breer on who he thinks the Browns' quarterback will be and who has a leg up in that quarterback competition.
Joe Flacco has essentially been given a first-round bye in the quarterback competition. I talked with Joe a few weeks ago, and he said he was fine with the fact that he was getting less reps, and he wouldn't be fine with it if it was going to affect him in any way in the competition, because he didn't sign there to be a backup. He wants to play. So, I think the likelihood is that Joe is going to look good enough in training camp where they have to give their team the best answer at quarterback right now. This can't be a year that you throw overboard in the name of quarterback development. Shedeur Sanders, when he came in, was significantly behind, even Dylan Gabriel. Now, he has done some catching up. And Dylan Gabriel, who killed it, in his pre-draft process, and who has all of this experience. I think he broke Bo Nix's record for a number of college starts, started at 3 different schools. Do you feel the need to get a look at him right now? I think for right now, the bigger thing for the Browns is, after everything we put our players through and our coaches through last year, how do we give them a path to contend? And if it turns out that 10, 12, 14 games in the season we're not contenders, well, we'll revisit the quarterback situation then. But if Joe Flacco is the best answer on August 31st, then it's Joe Flacco.
And Lance, I think he nailed it. Now, the question that I would have for you, I know you like Flacco, and I know you think he allows everybody to play fast and be good. I think the recipe for this team to win is to not turn the ball over, to run the football, and play really good defense. Kenny Pickett doesn't turn the ball over as much as Joe Flacco does. Is that something that you pay attention to in the joint practices? And, it's not as much in minicamp, but when you see those guys against other teams.
Well, it's funny you say that. So obviously very close with his touchdowns and interceptions in his time at Pittsburgh. He's not going to give you the big plays that Joe Flacco gives you. So it's really a balance. And Joe is going to have to protect the football more. And you said it best. Regardless of what they do, Joe Flacco allows them to play fast, I think. But he's got to not turn the ball over, because I think you're absolutely right. I think the two keys, and I heard Mary Kay Cabot say this earlier today, the two keys for me are, one is they got to create turnovers. They got to protect the football, and they got to win on first down. If they could do that, they'll be competitive in a lot of football games at the NFL, because there's not a huge separation. And this defensive roster, this defensive talent can keep them in games, along with going back to the run game. So if Joe doesn't protect the ball, that will cost him playing, and I agree with that. Now, if you ask me, Dylan Gabriel is going to be in that hunt with Kenny Pickett as well. Dylan Gabriel is a guy who has 64 starts. He's a guy who has 155 touchdown passes at 3 elite schools. I tell everybody, his height, coach, his height. Well, the guys at Oklahoma and the guys at Oregon aren't 6 foot either. Those guys are 6'5". He's found a way to do this. So I think if they could just keep it a battle, and like I said before, they have to prove to all those guys in the locker room that winning is the most important thing. Developmental things cost you jobs. If you're saying we're developing guys, then you won't be around. And people can say they get a pass this year and they have to. That won't be the case when they're 3-10. People want to win. The Browns players want to win. They have to show that they want to win. Keep those veterans interested. Keep people wanting to come to Cleveland.
Yeah, and again, last year, I think a lot of the veterans towards the end of the year were kind of like, man, this is not what we signed up for. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.